Be sure to stay tuned for Video Zone after this feature presentation.
Hi, I'm Charles Band, and welcome to the 5th edition of Full Moon's Video Zone. We've been getting a tremendous response to these behind-the-scenes video magazines, and at the annual VSDA Video Convention in Las Vegas, we discovered just how much the retailers liked our product. Video store owners from all over the country came to check out the latest titles, and Full Moon made an especially strong showing at the Paramount booth. We had long lines for autographs from Transfer 2's Tim Thomerson, and a large turnout for Full Moon Madness, an event where we introduced our special collector's merchandise and unique promotions. We also announced our Full Moon films coming out later this year. First is Doll Man, directed by Cyborg's Albert Pune, who shrinks Tim Thomerson down to 13 inches. Tim plays Brick Bardo, a cop from another planet who ends up on Earth with a bad attitude, especially because he's landed in the Bronx. Then there's Netherworld, which Puppet Masters David Schmuller has just finished shooting on location in New Orleans. Netherworld stars 21 Jump Street's Michael Benedetti as a young man who inherits a plantation filled with voodoo. We've currently completed production on Dangerous Toys, which has a group of evil playthings. A town is replaced with alien duplicates and seed people, while Jeffrey Combs stars as a magical avenger in Dr. Mordred. We've especially written Bad Channels to feature the hottest bands from our new Moonstone record label, as an intergalactic disc jockey puts on his version of MTV. Later in this video zone, you'll see a segment on our new limited edition Puppet Master model kits. Since we've gotten hundreds of letters asking for them, I commissioned a very talented makeup artist named Greg Aronowitz to sculpt the puppets from Dave Allen's originals. As you'll see, Greg did an incredible job. Because the Puppet Master series is amongst our most popular films, I'm expecting these models to quickly become unique collector's items. You know, there's always a lot of great things happening here at Full Moon, from our fan club to our trading cards, CDs, and comic books, but it's always the response from our fans and video retailers that keep us going. So keep on writing to Full Moon with your ideas and suggestions, and I'll see you on the next Video Zone.
Those evil puppets are back, and they are doing horrible things. But this time, they're doing them to the most hideous monsters of history, the Nazis.
No mercy, my friends. No mercy.
Puppet Master 3. Director Dave Dakota had the unenviable task of recreating Nazi Germany in the San Fernando Valley.
The picture was written to be shot in Bucharest, Romania, but the government is very unstable there right now. So our second choice was Budapest, Hungary. And we decided that Budapest wasn't exactly what we wanted because it's winter there. So I made a suggestion to Charlie. I said, look, I can condense our exterior shots to 2 or 3 days, 4 days. Let's shoot them on the Universal backlot. Charlie agreed. It's very expensive to shoot here, but we're shooting very wisely. It's a thrill. You know, James Whale, directed Frankenstein on the same sets we're making Puppet Master 3. I cast the picture the way I wanted to cast it with the actors I've admired for years. Some of the actors in this film were stars before I was born. So I grew up with their films, and to be able to work with them and direct them in a show like this has been thrilling for the simple fact that, I'm a big fan of theirs to begin with.
Looks more like Marlene Dietrich.
English actor Guy Rolfe of Mr. Sardonicus fame already had experience working with toys that kill. You may recognize him as the star of an earlier Charles Band production, Dolls. And his secret for working so successfully with tiny terrors?
Well, to me, they're people. I treat them as people. I think of them as people. I talk to them as people. It doesn't occur to me that I'm talking to an inanimate puppet. I think they're beautiful. I think they're marvelous creations. And the way they're manipulated is quite fantastic.
Asked what he hopes people will say after seeing him in Puppet Master 3.
That they can't wait to see him in Puppet Master 4, of course.
Sarah Douglas plays the Puppet Master's devoted wife, Elsa. Having been the villainess of the Superman movies, she is no stranger to special effects on the set.
It can't be any worse than waiting for Superman to fly, which took days, or dinosaurs and the people at time forgot, heads that didn't do it when they're supposed to, or tails that didn't twitch when they're supposed to.
Did she find it flattering to play the role model for the puppet Leech Woman?
I just want to know if the puppet's getting paid more than me. That's what I'm worried about.
Richard Lynch returns to the Full Moon fold as yet another villain. You may remember him as the evil Dr. Wardo from Trancers 2.
Find him!
What is his villainous formula?
Well, I try to bring a certain amount of intelligence to them and a certain amount of vulnerability to them, too, I try to find some depth in the character, and not to play the heavy right on the money, but to make him a human being. It's not easy to play the heavy. You got to know how to handle it.
I have an obligation to expose the dissident and to silence him.
Here we go, settle, and action.
Another classic heavy is Walter Gotell's, who we've seen before as 007's Russian counterpart in countless James Bond films. He reveals the secret to playing a good bad guy.
This is not enough, Doctor.
It's not to utterly dehumanize him, but then also show that he is incapable of being what I call a considerate human being.
Now I don't want any more excuses. It's a humiliation to me. I'd rather have you two shot than be disgraced in Marshal Goering's eyes once again. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a top-level meeting.
What does his character, General Mueller, feel about the puppets? Especially his nemesis, Six Shooter.
Utter amazement.
What is this joke?
They're amazing.
Yeah, as good as new.
Are you going to send one of your puppets to visit me, Toulon?
Not just now.
I've never worked with puppets before. I've worked with children and dogs, and an elephant once, but I mean, that's tough. I think we're all going to be upstaged by the puppets, all of us.
And behind every upstaging puppet
No, I'm going to get in here. I'll be like this.
is an under-the-stage puppeteer. Meet the team behind the puppets of Puppet Masters 1, 2, and 3.
Roll call.
Like Mickey Mouse Club.
Puppeteer roll call. Sound off now. Hi, I'm Joanne Bloomfield.
I'm John Teska.
Chris Endicott. Brett White.
I think we've become a very close group working on these films because there are so many times when we've been laying on the floor together or crammed behind desks and one person's elbow in another person's face, and it's insane when if you have a chance to see behind the scenes, what you see is a little puppet going like this, and you get behind the chair and suddenly there's like a half dozen people there. So it certainly has made us closer,
The new hotshot in Puppet Master 3 is the heavily armed six-shooter.
This is, I guess, Toulon's version of an American, and he's not very keen on Nazis or Hitler, and he has this guy do battle with Adolf Hitler, a little puppet that he made. In the story, he works with Toulon's magical formula, but for us, he's a rod puppet, or he's a stop-motion animation puppet, or he's a cable control puppet. This guy is a rod puppet.
Academy Award nominee David Allen, the true puppet master, describes the inner workings of a stop-motion animation puppet.
And this is the armature for the six-shooter character. Not quite complete, as you see. There's no arms on it yet. This armature will be placed, actually this way, into the mold. The mold will be closed up. Around the armature, a liquid foam rubber is injected inside. And then after that gels, like a cake, we put it in the oven and we bake it for several hours. The mold is parted, and then you have the vulcanized foam rubber with the armature embedded inside.
The cable puppet for six-shooter uses 420 feet of cable. When you add to that the Teflon lining and housings, you have thousands of feet of material to run one complicated six-armed puppet.
One of our main concerns was having a cable-operated puppet that would work as lifelike as possible. And what we were able to do was build a slave system from the puppet to the puppeteer himself. And what that would allow the puppeteer to do was give the most lifelike movement as possible. Because as the puppeteer moved his arms, one set, you would have the six-shooter puppet mimic this exactly.
Puppets are the easy stuff. Trying to tell a story is the tough part.
Be careful what you say. My friends are very sensitive.
You don't know where, and you don't know when. But Full Moon promises that you'll see these puppets again.
Netherworld is a ghost story thriller about a young man who returns home after his father dies. He's inherited his father's estate, and he receives instructions from his father to try to bring his father back alive from the dead. And in doing so, he finds out that his father is tricking him. Michael Bendetti is from 21 Jump Street, and this is his first feature. And he plays Corey, the young man who returns home to inherit his father's plantation. And we worked very hard on creating a life for him where he came from. He came from the East. And although he had not grown up with his father on this plantation, he still has the formality and the sort of the coldness. The netherworld is a state of mind, and the challenge as a filmmaker was, how do you create that state of mind? We didn't really want to do a voodoo picture, but we wanted. I borrowed an element from the practice of voodoo, which is the aspect that you can use symbolism to bring back someone from the dead. But I wanted to create another mythology. So I created a sort of a coven of people who, in some fashion or another, were worshippers of birds. I think the sort of the mystical part of life interests me, rather than the supernatural, although it sometimes is just easier to pull off if it's a supernatural setting. Just the unknown, the secrets of that we don't know about in life, that is what is mystical to me. I wrote a part for myself in this movie. I play Billy Chicago, and he's the bartender who spins the bottle on the tip of his finger like this. And I can't tell you how I do it. A lot of practice.
Hi, I'm Greg Aronowitz, and this is Criswell Productions. Here we do a bunch of creatures and effects that you see on film and TV, but I'm going to tell you about one of the most exciting projects we've worked on in a while. When Charlie Band called me up and asked me if I would sculpt and produce the model kits for the Puppet Master series, I was more than happy to agree. I guess we start out the process by first receiving one of Dave Allen's very cool puppets. This is Blade. After I studied the actual puppet, I watched the movie a couple times to get the personality of each character. Then I decide on my position. This is Pinhead. I sculpt it, and then we make the mold. This is a mold for Tunneler. Each mold is a silicone matrix, which means it has a stone casing and a detailed rubber impression of the sculpture inside. It comes in 2 halves, and we put the 2 halves together to pour up the final piece. Each character can take up to 6 molds to produce your actual final product. Now we'll pour a Tunneler. Take our 2 halves of the molds after they've been properly released, put them together, secure them with the mold strap so we know that they're going to stay together. In these cups is a 2-part urethane that your model kit will actually be made out of. What we do is we take them, pour them together, mix them thoroughly, first by changing cups, and by stirring. In a matter of seconds, this will kick and change from liquid form to solid. So when we know it's thoroughly stirred, pour it into our mold. When the plastic cools, we take it out of the mold. There's your silicone. This is the actual piece that we send to you. Now it needs to be sanded, assembled, and painted, but I'll show you how to do that now. When you get your kit, it'll still have the stem and the seams on it that are necessary for pouring it up. What you'll want to do is remove those, and they come off pretty simply by breaking them off. And the seams can be cleaned up easily with an X-Acto and cutting them away. You can use some sandpaper just to smooth out the edge. When you have all your seams and stems removed, you'll take the rest of your kit and you'll assemble it. Here's Tunneler almost finished. When he's all together, you'll fill in any holes with the auto body filler, and then you'll prime him. Now he's ready for painting.
The primer will help keep the paint sticking to the model. I used the Liquitex acrylic to paint everything except for the metallics, because there I used the tester's model paint.
For any shadows on the kit, I used a wash of a darker value than the one I painted it with, and for any highlights, I used a dry brush of a lighter value. Your finished kit will look like this. They're almost as fun to build as they are to create, so I hope you like it a lot, because we're going to be doing a lot more with Full Moon. Now back to Video Zone.
On the planet Arcturus, he's the toughest cop around.
That's a Kruger blaster, the most powerful handgun in the universe.
That's right, fat boy.
What do you want, asshole?
Nothing.
You're just gonna walk away?
On the planet Earth, he's 13 inches tall.
Oh, fuck!
That's about the size of it.
Can we keep it?
All the homies together. We're going to war. With who? With the fucking doll man. Who else?
Hey, you in the wrong neighborhood?
Urban fucking renewal. Doll Man. 13 inches with an attitude. Welcome to Arcade, the hottest video game ever. It's got 7 levels of difficulty, graphics that you won't believe, and great joystick action. All you need to play are 2 quarters and your soul.
Faye? Stacy, where's Faye?
Come on, kids, I got something to show you in the other room.
This is Arcade. It's so real, you'll think you're actually in the game board. Enjoy.
You okay?
You gotta try this thing. We got some home versions of Arcade that I'm gonna give you to take home.
Did you play arcade last night?
No, my TV was busted.
It's alive, Nick. It's listening to us.
Shut up! Enough. Is it like a supernatural evil that you're going off to fight, or is it like space aliens and like pod people and stuff like that? Just stay here, Stills.
And don't watch any TV. Lori? Lori!
Alex, wait!
Step back! Lori, wake up. We have to turn it off, Lori. I'm gonna turn it off. No!
Let's get the hell out of here.
Vertigotronics.
What?
They made arcade. I mean, it's still a game, isn't it?
It's a machine without a soul. If he gets you, you're dead.
It's alive there. It's the one changing the rules.
Don't play this game. I'd like to, but I don't think that's an option anymore.
It's tough being a hero, isn't it?
Hold on.
Arcade. Kiss reality goodbye. The makers of Puppet Master and Reanimator take you to a time of madness.
Have mercy.
Arrest her. An inquisitor's lust, a woman's innocence. His battle for her soul will create evil's ultimate weapon.
Look up.
The pit and the pendulum.
No one escaped. No one.
The Pit and the Pendulum, now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment. In the dark past, humans were their prey. And blood was their life. Now in modern-day Transylvania, eternal evil has reawakened.
I'm afraid for you.
Subspecies, now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment.
Hi, Full Moon fans. I'm Charlie Spradling, and let me tell you, it was scary enough starring in Puppet Master 2 with those little killer puppets, but now Full Moon has created models of the puppets. They come in a kit, and you put them together. You can get six-shooter, torch, tunneler, pinhead, and blade. He's the one that got me, remember? These great puppet kits come with a certificate of authenticity signed by Greg Aronowitz. He's the creator of the puppet models, and Charles Band from Full Moon. And you can get all that for $90. Let me tell you, they look like the real thing. Now, you can't make them move, but they do look really cool sitting in your living room. Our Full Moon fan club keeps getting bigger and bigger. Don't forget though, when you join, you get an official Full Moon t-shirt, just like the one I'm wearing. You also get a copy of Moon Flash, which is our quarterly newsletter, and a chance at great collector's items. All that for only $20, and let me tell you, it's a real bargain. When you're at your local record stores, don't forget to pick out Moonstone CDs and tapes. We have scores for movies such as Pendulum, Meridian, starring me, and Puppet Master 1 and 2. Brand new is Subspecies, so don't forget to get that one. And coming soon is Netherworld with original songs by Edgar Winters and the music done by John Bon Jovi's keyboardist, David Bryan. I can't wait to hear that one. Rawr! Malibu Graphics has some great new comics hitting the stands. Already available are Puppet Master and Subspecies, but coming soon you can get Children of Puppet Master, Dollman, and Trancers. And that's just in time for Trancers 2 trading cards, which will tell you everything you've ever wanted to know about Jack Death. And he's a really scary guy, let me tell you. Says he.
To get information about our merchandise or joining the Full Moon Fan Club, be sure to call our Full Moon hotline at 1-800-999-9559 or write to Full Moon Entertainment, P.O. Box 526, 8721 Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood, California, 90069.
So until next time, don't forget to join Full Moon Fan Club and check out our great merchandise. Keep sending me those letters and keep watching Video Zone.